Hello YouTube, what's going on? How are you? Hope you've been in the gym. Welcome to my video. Before you pull on Ardyn's FR, I'm expecting Ardyn to be coming with the upcoming crevasse coming tonight. I'm recording this in the morning. This is a guess. The banner on screen is the one we got in JP, but clearly they moved Garland around, so I'm expecting them to put Golbez on the banner. So I'm expecting at least one triple BT banner. And they said there'd be another banner with our Renoa BT on it as well. I don't know what that'll be, so we'll have to see. But I'll just be talking about this primarily because they did also say that two people are getting C90, which I presume they moved Golbez over here. That makes the most sense, probably to fit something into crevasse. But anyways, like the video, subscribe. We're going to be talking about Ardyn in this video. His FR is upgrades, etc. Before you use your limited resources, member up, all that good stuff. Leave a comment down below with your plans and your reductionist take of Ardyn. I'm going to say that Ardyn is basically a non-elemental jacked Gallo. Yeah, let's go with that because he's got the Immortal thing going, even though he was the first, but don't worry about that. All right, I think I got the disclaimers out the way. Let's get started, shall we? Ardyn, if you're not familiar with this kit, he is a melee, non-elemental damage dealer. He has a lot of dark moves. Say it. Okay, that's the only time to make that joke. But he's actually completely non-elemental. He doesn't, no element at all. He's immortal. After you press his LD, he drops his HP to 0. And he just can't die while his overkill buff is up, which is pretty cool. You don't need to worry about keeping him alive. If there's an enemy that targets low HP, he can take care of it and not really care about it. And while he's immortal, the HP damage taken does not count towards the HP count, whatever, in the requirements, so that's pretty handy as well. Here's a rebreaker. With his rework, he can now rebreak on his skill 1. He should have had this since Divine Shiva, where he got his BT, the BT plus, but he didn't. Oh well. And he also has consecutive turns on break, like the other rebreakers generally, so that's pretty cool. So now his rebreak moves are EX, which got recast up with his C90, LD now, I don't know, I think it rebroke before, I don't remember, but it definitely does now, and skill 1. And so skill 2 does not rebreak, but it's a much better damage move. His follow-up, he has a follow-up after everything, even if he doesn't break, just regardless, he'll just always do the follow, so it's +2 and everything. So he averages about, 5 HP attacks on his skills, and I think like 6 or 7 on his LD and EX, that's pretty handy. And as for his BT, gives the party massive Brave regen, 50%, HP damage up, and HP cap by 30%. So that's actually pretty competitive with current offensive BT effects like Tifa and Renoa. So that's pretty good too. Yeah, his BT effect is actually quite good. Let's keep it moving. But he already had BT plus. We have already gotten to the BT pluses, haven't we? Huh? That was Eld. Huh? Oh wow, I didn't even realize that happened. Anyways, his FR condition, you get 20% when you get an on-turn break, and you get 20% when you use a melee ability. Pretty similar to Gabronth in that regard, but it keeps going. Now, there's 20% more when Ardyn gets an on-turn break, so they want you to use his BT phase, and 10% more when Ardyn uses a melee ability, which is all of his skills. So in total, if Ardyn gets a break on his turn and uses a skill, which he kind of has to, that's 70% for Ardyn in a turn, which is pretty powerful within a BT phase and the like. And also, the cool thing about his FR is that normally, if you didn't know this is now you know, enemies take 5 turns after they've been broken to recover back to High Brave, so they can be broken again. Ardyn reduces that to 3 turns, so this will enable the rest of the team, or maybe just Ardyn again, to get more breaks, which is also very handy. So Sephiroth BT, which I presume will be on the banner with Sephiroth getting his force enhancements, would also be helpful in this regard because everyone would be able to break constantly, so that's pretty handy. You want to watch out for off-turn units, like Core especially, because he's got a preemptive. He might steal Ardyn's breaks, which is pretty annoying. But otherwise, if you're just driving Ardyn's BT phase, then just the normal like off-turn stuff, Young, Core, whatever. Okay. So evaluation. Ardyn's strengths, he provides consistent rebreaks for himself, which he found it's such a great quality alert that he does this. Most of his attacks, I mean, if you can grab a break, press skill 2. Otherwise, just press skill 1 or LD or EX, and you're pretty good to go. He's non-elemental, so he can fit in a lot of the categories. We are, I believe, a third of the way to the lockout era now. So yeah, it went by fast, didn't it? It really wasn't that large a span of time, but we're a third of the way through it. But it is handy that he's non-elemental. You can be enchanted and fit other things. The immortality, it's always handy. Just don't have to worry about him. Just gotta make sure you keep his boss up, and provided that there's no enemy dispels, then you're good. The 3 turn to Eye Brave thing is super cool and really helps his FR feel a lot better. just so anyone else can get those breaks. You don't have to necessarily bring a rebreaker. And he's got a good BT effect, so yeah, he's pretty well-rounded, solid unit all around. Weakness-wise, and I guess it's not technically a weakness, these are getting harder to do, honestly. He's not top of the line damage, so Renoa and Tifa will very obviously out damage him. It's not even close. But Ardyn is good enough to be content, but he's definitely not top of the line. He is more of the same. You're probably going to be running his BT. I mean, you need his BT. If you're not running Ardyn's BT phase, then what are you doing? More of the same. Stack up off turns and get the biggest BT phase possible. Probably selfie friend, get a bunch of launches, all that good stuff, you know. And off turn breaks can screw him over, like I mentioned core earlier. And if you're relying on the 3-turn reset break thing, and you got maybe like Kane in the air, for example, and the break resets, but then Kane steals it, then you're forced to skill one with Ardyn or use a breaking skill, or maybe on someone else, and that can get kind of annoying too. So you need to watch out for that as well. Moving on, I talked about Golbez in my ball through video because I didn't think they'd switch it up because I didn't really see a good reason why, and maybe it's for crevasse reasons, but whatever. I already talked about him. TLDR, he's a dark magic, melee and magic damage dealer. Focus on brave damage. He's got good nukes on his EX and LD. As BT has an aura enemy freeze, which is handy for very specific situations. Overall, I don't think Golbez is very good. You can go back to my ball through video if you want me to hear more on that. Lastly, we have Sephiroth, who is not getting. He should be just getting force enhancements. He's a melee damage dealer on everything but his EX. His EX is magic, so I had to put that in there. And he has gravity on his EX, which is handy for tearing apart shields and breaking. His BT is probably mostly known for break shenanigans. I need to stop saying that word. His BT keeps the enemy brave at 1 constantly, and he provides a gold frame debuff. Debuff start provides 7 brave damage up, and his BT is good. 4 turns of the setting enemy brave at 1. On top of that, party attack up 100%, which is noticeable, very noticeable. Brave cap and brave gains up by 50%, which is Ishtola Furion levels. Overall, Sephiroth is a good damage dealer. His 8. He's a little bit power crap. I mean, I'm not gonna say power crap, but other damage dealers have caught up to him. Tifa, Renoa, and the like. On turn damage, just pressing their buttons. Like Octaslash used to be like top of the line, but now it's not as good as some of the other stuff. But his BT has interesting applications with different stuff. One of the primary things, if you're thinking about getting RNA as FR next month, he's got a funny interaction with that where off-turn breaks do count for RNA as FR, so you could chain those pretty fast and get a high percentage. There's Edaroth, there's other stuff, so just something to consider. Yeah, let's move on. So, Ardyn's banner overall, before you pull, what's my opinion? What do I think you should do? If you're on the fence, if you already know what you want to do, you got a favorite on here, you know what you got to do. Do what you want, I don't care. But this is for people on the fence who are not quite sure how to decide. I'm just gonna give my plans straight up. Normally let me slow down. So I'm not gonna get Ardyn's FR. I've said it multiple times. I think Rushdown is the most boring way to play the game, and I got sick of it. And Ardyn is just more of the same in that regard. It's just BT phase probably killed him. If not, just skirt through it after the BT phase ends, and you do another FR and get it going again if you don't kill him. Otherwise, it's pretty straightforward. It's not really doing it for me. I like his animations and stuff, but I can't really see myself running the FR. So yeah, I'm not interested. And I have everything on this banner, presuming it's Golbez. Well, I don't have the Golbez BT. So that's the BT I don't have. So normally I kind of be for pulling BTs to get more tokens, but I get premium pass now, so now that's kind of devalued to me, so I don't think it's quite worth it. Plus, what would I do with that Golbez BT except sit on it? Nothing. Not worth it for me. And what would I recommend for everyone else? I would also say this probably not a good idea. If you're lacking in damage, Renoa is still on banner, so she's the obvious choice if you're lacking in damage. And so Ardyn, I mean, if you're just pump people who want to solo older content and maybe save units, I usually recommend against those, because my philosophy has always been, if you need to solo something, that means something is missing in your roster. You need to look wider than that and maybe build it out more rather than focusing on getting through content, because usually it's never worth it to do that. But if you're dead set on doing that, Ardyn can pull off some solos. I think tier 10. I don't know exactly because I don't pay attention to this stuff. I really don't care about it. But if you're good on damage, if you're clearing content handily enough, if you're doing fine in content, there's not really any reason to recommend Ardyn. If you're interested in some break shenanigans, maybe Dorgan. I said I wouldn't say that word again, but here I go. Dorgan next month, Aranea. Those are the only ones that come to mind. And Sephiroth PT Plus may be of interest to you. Golbez is a hard no. So for most people, I would not recommend this banner. That's what it is. Hope Crevasse is fun. Let me know what you guys think. Again, let me hear your basically reductionist take of Ardyn. The reverse lightning. And that's all. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you guys later. All right? Peace.